Welcome to the SQOLOGY podcast, brought to you by Resonix. Visit ResonixSoundSolutions.com for the best ways to free your car, motorcycle, house, or spaceship from resonance with Resonix. And many thanks to Resonix for making this podcast a reality. I'm now here with Peter from Pssound at the 2018 EMA UK Finals and the SQOLOGY Tuner Challenge, which Peter took part in, as did others yesterday. Peter, if you want to give a little bit of your background, how you got into audio and what you do now.
Okay, hello guys. Well, I'm probably the youngest playing this game in SQ, at my age of 32. They always laugh at me. Good trying, Peter, carry on. Well, I've been into sound since the age of 13, 14. I had car audio system before I had a car.
Okay, yep.
And then I became a sound engineer. So actually, I've been a live sound engineer for, 13, 14 years now.
Okay.
That's still part of my income. I still travel the world around, doing gigs, conferences, award shows, all those funky things. And then car audio is really where my main passion is, and that's the other half of the business that I'm trying to build up, as some people know me. And
YouTube fame.
It's not a fame, is it? With my little 1,000 followers compared to some of the guys in the US, you know.
Yeah, but at least guys in the US know who you are, so that's...
Yeah, it's an awesome thing, to be fair. I have so many guys waiting for me to go over and, see them. It's going to happen.
Hey, finals is next weekend, come on.
Yeah. I drive over.
Right, travel by map.
I like traveling by car, yes. I'm sure I get there in a week.
Right. So tell us about the Tuner Challenge, how that went yesterday. It was obviously cut to an hour, and most of the guys are like, well, you can only do so much in an hour, which is probably true. Did you use an RTA at all, or did you just go through by ear, or what was your process?
We did use an RTA. I was taking one of my team members, Adrian, because I also wanted to see him, how I do it. Well, he's seen me tuning quite many times, and I always explain things. I was explaining to him everything yesterday.
Right.
Which probably took a fair bit of time away, but I thought, it's worth more for him if I explain things.
Right.
We should have actually recorded it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would have made sense. But yeah, I've never tried anything like this.
Okay.
Tuning in an hour is pretty mental. But yeah, it's a good challenge, definitely, because it can make a massive difference.
Right. Step us through how you explained it to him, how you repeat that process maybe.
Yeah, okay. Well, we started off with obviously patching the processor properly, because we wanted separate EQs on every single driver.
Okay.
Then we were playing pink noise through single drivers, turning the crossovers off or very low, let's say on the tweeters, so we could have a proper RTA session quickly, just to see what the speakers were doing at the driver's position. He was helping me with that. He was holding the system laptop, typing in crossover points, muting channels and things like that. I was working on the other laptop with the RTA, and then that took a good 10 minutes. Then we analysed it. We had a look at what we could do, and then he was in the back helping out and watching what I was doing while I was explaining. So I started off with the mids, because I think it's always the most important to get the mids as good as possible and play them as wide as possible.
Right.
In that car, I'm used to the wideband.
Right.
You know what it's like. I'm not going to mention brands. Well, in that car, we couldn't really play any wider than 400 to 4K-ish.
Okay. Which you determined mostly on the RTA, or just listening, or?
Mainly on the RTA. You can't beat it.
Right.
I mean, yes, you tune with your ears, but if
you can determine those where the speaker is cutting off at.
If you have big problems, then
right,
the mic tells you straight away. And not to mention that not just we couldn't play a wide enough bandwidth, but there were monstrous dips and peaks, crazy ones. If you have 6 dB dip somewhere, you can deal with that. But when you have 12, 15 dB, quite wide deeps, like in between 601k. What do you do with that?
Right. And you were working with a 10-band parametric EQ on each channel.
Yeah, we didn't go crazy. And actually, it was better not to have 31 band because then you would fiddle with it for too long.
Day, yeah.
Yeah, so we just dealt with the biggest problems,
right?
Just to try to balance left and right out as much as possible.
Sure.
And then time aligned the pair quickly to get it focused central.
Right.
And then we carried on in pairs. Then we added the tweeters. And so on. Yeah, then we carried on to the mid bass and then sub and try to pull the system together for the competition disc.
Were you able to time things to where you were obviously not as far as maybe you'd want to go, but you were done in the hour?
I think it images pretty well considering the capabilities of the DSP.
Right.
And the install, because the drivers were very, very far off axis. On driver's side, the tweeter was on like 80 degrees.
Okay.
Where you would need the tweeter to play above 10k, it was already rolling off.
Right.
There was no top-end extension on driver's side. What do you do with that? You can't EQ 12 dB into it.
Right.
So yeah, we had issues. But when it comes to imaging and positions, I think it was pretty good. Then we timed the pairs to get the mid-bass integrate to the mid as good as possible.
Right.
And with all the rest, then I delayed the whole front end so we could catch up with the sub in the back.
Right.
And it wasn't bad, I think. It was playing in phase. It was focused in well enough, considering what you can do in an hour.
Right.
I'm interested to go over today and actually check out a couple of the presets from the others, or at least the original setup they had on the car.
Right.
How much we could change within an hour.
Right. I only heard it from the passenger seat, but there was more differences between the tunes than I thought there would be. It was very obvious, this is good to this is bad, and then there was a few in between that were very, very close. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't even know who's who. So
you had no idea yet.
Right. All we saw was colors when we were going through it, so that was interesting.
The only thing we can hope that they saved the presets well and named them well, because then it can become a bit.
There was a lot of pressure to make sure that was correct, so I think that'll be fine. But yeah, it was interesting.
I think we were not even saved by a color. We were saved by. We were the fifth. Because it was in a rush and, what color should I give her? All right, we'll just name it fifth.
Right. So I guess they transferred that or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever, we will see.
Yeah.
But it was definitely interesting to take part in it.
Are there any changes that you would, other than having 6 hours, but, is there anything that you think would make more sense in the future if you did it again?
Well, I did one big fuck up. I'm aware of that. In that rush with the new DSP I haven't used, and I couldn't even take part in the training. I went online, I had a look at it. It's pretty simple, but I couldn't separate the EQ on the tweeters, and I was wondering why they are paired, and I didn't see the little click button where you can pair them. It's a really separate place of the page. It's right in front of you, but in that rush,
you have to know where it is.
It's so tiny.
Right.
You can't, zoom the DSP surface out, and then it was so tiny, I was just like, fuck it. The tweeters are doing something, not a great job anyway, so fine, it is what it is. So yeah, I'm sure second time I would be using the DSP, it would be smoother.
Right.
And I could do a lot more within an hour.
Right.
But I don't think it sounded that bad. If I come last, then I can only say that everyone else did an awesome job. Because I don't think it was that bad.
Right.
But we will see.
Right. I have no idea. We'll find out.
What Jeff.
Right. All right, man. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll see you in a week.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll probably set off right now.
Yeah. Take care.
Cool.
How about the ones we especially like?
Which ones?
The ones with the cars that go.
I hear you. Hit it.